how to plan a trip to Sri Lanka. I'm here to help you. In the past 12 years I have spent more than 8 years in Asia. I have been to more than 20 countries in Asia, and Sri Lanka, in my opinion, is one of the very best countries for tourists. One of the best countries to go on a vacation to. And today in this video I'm gonna be talking about my personal experience. If you want to change to something specific, if you want to rewatch something specific, you can use the timestamps below. I'll talk about 4 main things. First, how to get to Sri Lanka, what are the best options, what is the best time to travel to Sri Lanka. I'll talk also about the visa. Second thing, I'll talk about traveling in Sri Lanka, how to get around in Sri Lanka, what are the best options and where to get the tickets, where to book all this transportation. Third, I'll talk about the places, best places to visit in Sri Lanka. I'll talk about the places that I went myself. And fourth, I'll talk about the prices, so you can better plan your budget for your Sri Lanka trip. I'll talk about everything I get to experience. First things first, flights. Sri Lanka is an island, so most likely you will need to take a flight there. And the main international airport is Colombo Airport. It's some 30 kilometers away from the city. There is a bus to the city, and you can also take an Uber or taxi to the city. When it comes to visa, it will depend from your nationality, but most likely you need a visa for Sri Lanka. You can apply for it on this website, the official website. There are also many other websites. Take into account that most of them, like 99% of them, are tour agents charging some extra fee for their service. If you want to just pay the fee, use this link, the official website. The last time when I was applying for the visa, it was 52 American dollars, and I got the visa in a few days. Better do it in advance, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month in advance. A few days later, after I applied for the visa, I got an email, and in that email there was both the information that I'm getting the visa and also a link to an online arrival card. Check if that still applies when you are traveling to Sri Lanka. In my case, I needed to fill in that form. Next, when is the best time to travel to Sri Lanka? The best time depends on where you are going to. November to April, it's if you are going to the southwest of the country. Colombo and the nearest places on that coast. February to September, if you are going to the other parts of Sri Lanka. I'll show you the map so you better understand what is the best time for what part of Sri Lanka. Let's look at the map. Sri Lanka. November to April is the best time for this part of Sri Lanka. Like I said, near Colombo, this is the part where you are going November to April. And the other part is this one. So pay attention to where you want to go to. And if you are planning to go to several places, just think of what is most important to you and plan accordingly, because it may matter greatly. I'll talk also about my own experience and how bad weather affected my own time in Sri Lanka. Second big thing, How to get around in Sri Lanka? There are several options. Flights. You can take some flights, but it's expensive and not the best option, in my opinion, for tourists. Number 2, trains. The most popular option from what I see, from what people are using, but unfortunately trains can be unreliable. You have to take that into account. You may have to wait for the train. Your train may get cancelled if you go, let's say, in a more rainy season. It all may happen, but other than that, cheap and goes to quite a few places. Buses, affordable, go to a lot of places, much more places than trains, but you may have to do some transfers. You may have to change buses to get some further distances. Taxis and private transfers available in Sri Lanka. Tuk-tuk, also an option. Tuk-tuk is also a very good option in many places in Sri Lanka. First of all, it's a different kind of transportation that most likely you are used to. In many other countries you don't really do that. You don't really travel long distances in a tuk-tuk. In Sri Lanka it's a very normal thing. We have done it, I have done it, some longer distances in a tuk-tuk. But the only thing that I would add here is that if you are going somewhere in the mountains, tuk-tuk may not be the option for that. It may just be too difficult for the tuk-tuk. It may take like extra long time for the tuk-tuk to get up that mountain. For some roads you can get the tickets also on want2go.asia. Want2go.asia is a very cool service that I personally use in a lot of places in Asia. In Sri Lanka it's not as popular as, for example, in Thailand, but still you can get some tickets there. You can get the train tickets there, for example, more expensive than when booking directly, but more convenient. You just open your phone, open the app, buy the tickets, and that's it. For the trains, only the first class may be available, but when it comes to trains and first class in Sri Lanka, it's not expensive. It's just that many tourists want the cheaper train for the experience. If you are not one of them, if you want the most comfortable option available and first class may be just the thing that you are looking for, then Want2go.asia is the app to check, and you will get the tickets much more easily. Another option when it comes to getting around in Sri Lanka, and if you are thinking of either tuk-tuk or taxi, is you can book the transportation also in your hotel. If you are a group of people traveling together, it may also be even cheaper than and significantly more efficient than taking some other mode of transportation. Some of those options, like I already mentioned, can also be found on Want2go.asia, including private transfers and tuk-tuks. Look it up on Want2go.asia if you want the maximum convenience, or ask at your hotel for the best price. And if you have time for that, you can also go outside and speak with some travel agents what they are offering. In my experience, it was cheaper for me to book a private transfer from my hotel. That was my experience in Sri Lanka. Third big thing, what to visit in Sri Lanka. When we went to Sri Lanka with Una, this was our route: Colombo, Betota, Hikaduva, Yala, Ella, Kandy. Colombo, a city that many people will tell you to skip, and a city that I'll tell you visit it. It's a nice city. Unless you are on a very short visit and you just don't have time for a city, or you don't want to go to a city, then skip it. But if you have time and have interest in cities, then go to Colombo. It's a nice Asian city. It's much nicer than many others in other countries. Number 2, Bentota, a quiet beach town in Sri Lanka, not far away from Colombo, but going to the south. A too quiet place for many, in my opinion, but if it's just the thing that you are looking for, a more quiet and relaxed stay, then check out Bentota. There I'm recommending one nice seafood restaurant, and if you are looking for a higher class time, higher class stay or food, check out Taj Bentota Resort. From Colombo to Bentota we took a train. Then from Bentota to Hikaduva we were also planning to take a train, but it just didn't come, so we took a tuk-tuk. Hikaduva, beachside town, touristy town, not the most touristy, but touristy. And there I recommend one thing. In the town there is a turtle beach. Go to that beach, walk to that beach and see the big sea turtles up close. They are going to the shore. Amazing experience. Number 4, Galle. You can go there and stay there if you are looking for a more like town beach, not beach, city kind of feeling. Go to Galle, but in our case we decided to stay in Hikaduva, to base ourselves in Hikaduva and just go on a day trip. In Hikaduva we went on the main road. You can do the same. Caught a bus going to Galle. Short ride, cheap ride. I'll also talk about the prices later. And you are in Galle. In Galle you can walk around the old historical part. Beautiful, nice, have a nice meal there, come back. A nice day trip. Number 5, Unawatuna. Another nice day trip option. Doable from Hikaduva, doable from Galle. From Galle it's super close. If you are going from Hikaduva like we are doing, Hikaduva, Galle, then in Galle at the bus station you ask for a bus to Unawatuna. 20 minutes on a bus, you are in Unawatuna. Nice beach, beautiful pagoda, can do some hiking, walking. Number 6, Yala National Park, a large natural park where you can see wild animals, elephants, crocodiles, monkeys, birds and leopards. But do it in the right season. For the highest chance of success, do it in the right season. I'll talk more about it in a moment. Ella. If to Yala we took a car, then to Ella we decided, and we stayed there. Then from Yala to Ella we decided to take a tuk-tuk. It almost turned out to be a super bad decision because the tuk-tuk barely made it. So that's why if you are 2 people or more, I recommend you when you're going to the mountains to take a car, not a tuk-tuk. For a tuk-tuk it can be also a too difficult ride. So Ella, a beautiful mountain town, very beautiful hikes around there. 2 of the most popular ones are Adams Peak, it's the harder one, and Little Adams Peak, easy one. Little Adams Peak is also one of the most city hikes that I have ever done anywhere around the world. Beautiful sights, easy to do it, easy to find it. And from town you can also walk to the 9 Arches Bridge, one of the most popular sites in all of Sri Lanka. Ella Kandy, we were planning to take a train. This is the scenic train that many tourists do and recommend you to do. Unfortunately, it was cancelled, so we found a car going to Kandy. Kandy is the city that has some beautiful sites, places to visit, but which also was the worst experience in our case. Nothing bad happened, but the few times that we are trying to get a taxi using Uber app, we were always getting responses from the drivers like, I'm coming to take you to that place where you want to go, but only if you book my $50 excursion. So not the best experience, but a city which can be a nice place to visit. Other cool places. These are places that I personally haven't been to, but these are places that I would consider going to. Sigiriya, an impressive natural place, the one in the photo above. Mirissa, a cool beach town. Arugam Bay. If you are going surfing in Sri Lanka, then there's a high chance you are going to Arugam Bay. And Nuwara area, between Ella and Kandy, a mountain town. Yala National Park. It was November And in that part of Sri Lanka it was off season, and that's why our experience in Yala National Park was pretty bad. We almost didn't see any animals. Like I was telling in the video that I made about our Yala National Park experience, we saw about as many animals as walking in Bangkok. There were very few. The best time for Yala is like February, March, not November. Fourth big thing. What are the prices in Sri Lanka? Bus, cheap. Also longer distances are very affordable, like going from Hikkaduwa to Galle can be only 20 cents. Trains, similar as affordable, prices are similar as low. Longer trips cost only a few dollars, and if you're taking the first class, the most expensive, and which is actually very nice, it can be as low as $5 to $10 for a longer train ride. 3 to 6 hours in a taxi, like 50 American dollars. Simple local meal and a good one. I really like Sri Lankan food. I was surprised because I didn't know what to expect, but their curries are like nowhere else, and that kinda nice tasty meals can cost you also starting from $1 to $2. Tea, maybe 30 cents. A cup of good coffee, maybe $2. Good room with a rating of 7.5 out of 10, $10 to $30, depending on the city, depending on the season. Massage, like $10. Private Yala National Park excursion. In our case, it was going from a place super close to Yala National Park. I have a video also about that place where we stayed. So going from a place next to the park to park and driving around for 2 people, $100. Here are the apps that I use in Sri Lanka. Want to go Asia for transportation bookings, but not all transportation bookings, because like I said, in Sri Lanka, Want to go Asia is not that popular. You can find things, but not all of what you want. Airalo, since 2021, Airalo is my #1 choice for internet abroad. I use only eSIMs and mostly I use Airalo for internet abroad, including Sri Lanka, but take into account that terms and conditions of Airalo may change, and so later this code may not be valid anymore. Uber. I use Uber in Sri Lanka for taxi and food delivery. Grab, a popular app in other countries in Asia, isn't working in Sri Lanka at the moment. Booking. I use Booking for all my hotel bookings in Sri Lanka and also in other countries. Agoda. I also check out Agoda once in a while. It's another hotel booking app and website. In some cases in Asia, it's very much worth comparing the prices, because it may be cheaper to book something on Agoda than it is on Booking, and in some cases some hotels, they are only on Agoda and aren't on Booking. The opposite may also be true. Klook, a very popular website and service that I use to check out tours and excursions, and even if I'm not booking on Klook, then I'm using it to understand the prices, to know how much things cost in that country, in Sri Lanka in this case. That's it for this video. See you soon, maybe in Sri Lanka. See you.